Hello and welcome to this Zwift Run live stream. My name is Stephen. I'm a Zwift ambassador, a community run leader and your host today. There's a countdown clock up there showing how long to go before the start of the main event, so you've probably got time to tidy the kitchen, take the trash out and grab yourself a drink before we get going. If you've never seen Zwift before, it's an online game where athletes from all over the world train, compete against and socialise with each other live and in real time. All you need to take part is a foot pod, an internet connection, access to a treadmill and a device on which to run the Zwift app. You can use a computer, an iPad, an iPhone, a high-end Android device. Zwift even works on Apple TV. If you have a smart treadmill, you don't even need a foot pod, as your treadmill will send your speed direct to Zwift. Once you've logged in and made sure your equipment is connected, you can join others live for structured group workouts or social runs. You could do a solo workout or take part in one of the many in-game challenges. You could also pit yourself against people from all over the world in a race. There are various Zwift worlds. Some are based on existing places like London, New York, Innsbruck, Richmond, Virginia and Harrogate in the UK. But the biggest world is the fictional Watopia, where you can run in glass tunnels underwater, through the middle of a volcano, in a jungle, up to the top of a snow-capped mountain and on country trails. Watopia is where the Zwift developers let their imagination fly. Like any computer game, the more you run, the higher up the levels you climb and the more virtual goodies you require. If you're a regular treadmill runner, Zwift is going to transform your training. If you're a hater, Zwift is going to change the way you think about indoor running. Before we go any further, if you're watching on YouTube, please click that subscribe button and the bell icon so you're notified every time we go live on this channel. If you're watching on Facebook, please click the like button on the Film My Run page. Film My Run is also my other YouTube channel where I post real world runs, so if you're interested in marathons, ultra running, 10Ks or triathlons, you'll find product reviews, interviews and races over on that channel. I've been running all my life. I started running long distance races in 2011 when I ran my first half marathon, and that was followed a year later by my first marathon in Paris. I've run the Paris Marathon every year since and have now run well over 100 marathons and ultras. I started using Zwift at the beginning of 2015 when indoor cycling and smart trainers really took off. In the early days, I held the long distance record for cycling of 500 kilometres on Zwift for about 48 hours. And when running started in 2016, I was the first person to run a marathon on Zwift. So if you have any questions about Zwift, if I don't know the answer, I probably know somebody who does. Okay, so now you can go and take the trash out and get that drink. And make sure you keep an eye on that countdown and be back in time for the start proper. Well, go on then, don't just sit there gawping at me. Basically, this message is going to go around in a loop again and again until the start of the run, so you may as well go and do something constructive in the meantime. Hello and welcome to this Zwift Run live stream. My name is Stephen. I'm a Zwift ambassador, a community run leader and your host today. There's a countdown clock up there showing how long to go before the start of the main event, so you've probably got time to tidy the kitchen, take the trash out and grab yourself a drink before we get going. If you've never seen Zwift before, it's an online game where athletes from all over the world train, compete against and socialise with each other live and in real time. All you need to take part is a foot pod, an internet connection, access to a treadmill and a device on which to run the Zwift app. You can use a computer, an iPad, an iPhone, a high-end Android device. Zwift even works on Apple TV. If you have a smart treadmill, you don't even need a foot pod, as your treadmill will send your speed direct to Zwift. Once you've logged in and made sure your equipment is connected, you can join others live for structured group workouts or social runs. You could do a solo workout or take part in one of the many in-game challenges. You could also pit yourself against people from all over the world in a race. There are various Zwift worlds. Some are based on existing places like London, New York, Innsbruck, Richmond, Virginia and Harrogate in the UK. But the biggest world is the fictional Watopia, where you can run in glass tunnels underwater, through the middle of a volcano, in a jungle, up to the top of a snow-capped mountain and on country trails. Watopia is where the Zwift developers let their imagination fly. Like any computer game, the more you run, the higher up the levels you climb and the more virtual goodies you require. If you're a regular treadmill runner, Zwift is going to transform your training. If you're a hater, Zwift is going to change the way you think about indoor running. Before we go any further, if you're watching on YouTube, please click that subscribe button and the bell icon so you're notified every time we go live on this channel. If you're watching on Facebook, please click the like button on the Film My Run page. Film My Run is also my other YouTube channel where I post real world runs, so if you're interested in marathons, ultra running, 10Ks or triathlons, you'll find product reviews, interviews and races over on that channel. I've been running all my life. I started running long distance races in 2011 when I ran my first half marathon, and that was followed a year later by my first marathon in Paris. I've run the Paris Marathon every year since and have now run well over 100 marathons and ultras. I started using Zwift at the beginning of 2015 when indoor cycling and smart trainers really took off. In the early days, I held the long distance record for cycling of 500 kilometres on Zwift for about 48 hours. And when running started in 2016, I was the first person to run a marathon on Zwift. So if you have any questions about Zwift, if I don't know the answer, I probably know somebody who does. Okay, so now you can go and take the trash out and get that drink. And make sure you keep an eye on that countdown and be back in time for the start proper. Well, go on then, don't just sit there gawping at me. Basically, this message is going to go around in a loop again and again until the start of the run, so you may as well go and do something constructive in the meantime. Hello and welcome to this Zwift Run live stream. My name is Stephen. I'm a Zwift ambassador, a community run leader and your host today. There's a countdown clock up there showing how long to go before the start of the main event, so you've probably got time to tidy the kitchen, take the trash out and grab yourself a drink before we get going. If you've never seen Zwift before, it's an online game where athletes from all over the world train, compete against and socialise with each other live and in real time. All you need to take part is a foot pod, an internet connection, access to a treadmill and a device on which to run the Zwift app. You can use a computer, an iPad, an iPhone, a high-end Android device. Zwift even works on Apple TV. If you have a smart treadmill, you don't even need a foot pod, as your treadmill will send your speed direct to Zwift. Once you've logged in and made sure your equipment is connected, you can join others live for structured group workouts or social runs. You could do a solo workout or take part in one of the many in-game challenges. You could also pit yourself against people from all over the world in a race. There are various Zwift worlds. Some are based on existing places like London, New York, Innsbruck, Richmond, Virginia and Harrogate in the UK. But the biggest world is the fictional Watopia, where you can run in glass tunnels underwater, through the middle of a volcano, in a jungle, up to the top of a snow-capped mountain and on country trails. Watopia is where the Zwift developers let their imagination fly. Like any computer game, the more you run, the higher up the levels you climb and the more virtual goodies you require. If you're a regular treadmill runner, Zwift is going to transform your training. If you're a hater, Zwift is going to change the way you think about indoor running. Before we go any further, if you're watching on YouTube, please click that subscribe button and the bell icon so you're notified every time we go live on this channel. If you're watching on Facebook, please click the like button on the Film My Run page. Film My Run is also my other YouTube channel where I post real world runs, so if you're interested in marathons, ultra running, 10Ks or triathlons, you'll find product reviews, interviews and races over on that channel. I've been running all my life. I started running long distance races in 2011 when I ran my first half marathon, and that was followed a year later by my first marathon in Paris. I've run the Paris Marathon every year since and have now run well over 100 marathons and ultras. I started using Zwift at the beginning of 2015 when indoor cycling and smart trainers really took off. In the early days, I held the long distance record for cycling of 500 kilometres on Zwift for about 48 hours. And when running started in 2016, I was the first person to run a marathon on Zwift. So if you have any questions about Zwift, if I don't know the answer, I probably know somebody who does. Okay, so now you can go and take the trash out and get that drink. And make sure you keep an eye on that countdown and be back in time for the start proper. Well, go on then, don't just sit there gawping at me. Basically, this message is going to go around in a loop again and again until the start of the run, so you may as well go and do something constructive in the meantime. Good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. This is Film My Run on Zwift. My name is Stephen Cousins and we are broadcasting live on Facebook and on YouTube. While we're getting everything ready, it would be absolutely awesome if you could go and subscribe to the Film My Run YouTube channel and also the Zwift Live YouTube channel. You can also find us on Facebook at facebook.com/filmmyrun and also Twitter at filmmyrun, and the website is www.filmmyrun.com. It's very nearly time, so sit back, relax, don't forget to drop me a ride on and watch me do all the hard work. Sorry we're a bit late. I was going to run at 4 p.m. and I didn't get back in time. I was out with the family and I was hoping to be back for 4 p.m. UK time to do the seaside solstice, but we didn't make it, so I had to cancel that. And here we are when I would normally be in bed. Oh, I wouldn't really, but anyway, you know, later than normal anyway. And I've missed all of the seaside solstice races, which is such a shame. I just didn't have the time to fit them in. So here we are, we've got the Norseman 5k. I'm not going to go fast, I am going to click through the leaders, and we'll have a little look at who's running quickly and some of the names of the people involved today. Tina Beard, good evening to you. Ace Ventura, hello buddy. Sorry I didn't race with you earlier on. Benny Buns, thumbs up to you, mate. Where are we? Hang on.
Right on.
And Ryan Downey, hello Ryan. Ryan says take out, hydrate. Okay. Right, and off we go. Now I have turned off my camera angles, so hopefully I won't lose everyone. At least I think I've turned them off. I am watching Facebook chat, I'm watching YouTube chat. There we go. Mr. M says, did the ZRS 5k earlier, shame. Oh, right, shame you couldn't make it. Yes, I know. Like I said, I was hoping to get back in time. I just didn't make it. I had it all set up and ready to go, and I eventually realised I wasn't going to make it back in time. So never mind. Vidar, no, I'm not racing. I'm going to click through and watch the faster runners, and I'll go at about 6 miles an hour. Let's do that. I've had quite a tough week. Wednesday was a really hard interval session. Thursday I raced. Friday was fairly straightforward, fairly easy, but then yesterday, I did a marathon distance with my buddy on the hills. So I've had a relatively intense week, so I don't really want to do another fast 5k today. And I didn't intend to race the solstice earlier either, so it was never going to be a quick day, just an easy day. So only half an hour today. We'll be back on tomorrow for Monday Run Club. Pascal is with us. I could just see him passing us, running on the grass there just up ahead, I think. Nobody else I recognise. Phil Brailsford just behind me. Who else? Gutierrez from Argentina, Weisner from Germany, Tasker from Australia. No other names that I recognise there. Let's go and have a look at the front of the field. Hello, wife. Oh, Mr. M, that was your first Zwift run. Oh, brilliant. Well, I'm sorry I wasn't there to run it with you. Right, so let's jump up to the front. Now you'll notice as well that we don't have placings. So this is the person who's at the front at the moment. Stobbs, Army Cycling. Let's have a look at Stobbs. Right, so Stobbs is Jonathan Stobbs from the UK, age 35. Is a cyclist mainly, level 21 cyclist with 3,300 kilometres of cycling, and is a relatively new runner, level 9. Well, no, actually not new. 184 kilometres on Zwift running. So level 9 is not new, is it? That's a relatively established Zwift runner. So he's pumping it out at 4 minutes per kilometre and leading the field at the moment. Although, like I say, it doesn't look like it's listed as a race. Heart rate for him of 158, which sounds about right. 35 years old. And he's being followed by Soto. And let's see where Soto's from. So this is Soto. Give him a ride on. Soto is from Chile. 41 years old. And is a level 6 cyclist, 113 kilometres on Zwift, and his heart rate is 156, 157 at the moment. Victoria and Jeff Partridge, I am ignoring you. Any talk of Olympus Mons will be summarily dismissed. Oh, we've got Jay Meza running. So Meza is in 3rd place at the moment from the USA. We know, is it John Meza? Vidar says yesterday he was supposed to run the Midnight Sun Marathon, but of course it was cancelled for obvious reasons. So Soto has taken the lead now, ahead of Jonathan Stubbs. Right, Meza. Let's have a look at Meza. If I can click on his name. There we are. So, Jose Meza. Not John at all. Well, I suppose it is. Jose is John in Spanish, isn't it? I think. Anyway, Jose doesn't have a heart rate. Well, I'm sure he does in real life. But on Zwift, he doesn't have a heart rate. Level 10 cyclist. 368 kilometers run on Zwift. So that's Jose Meza from the USA. Currently running in third in the Norseman 5k this evening. Or evening here in the UK. Late afternoon on the east coast of the States. Middle of the afternoon on the west coast. And in Canada and Brazil as well. So Jose Meza is 38 years old, male from the USA. Currently running at 4 minutes 21 per kilometre. Right, let's see who else we've got back here. Bit of a clump of people together. So this is Aquino from Brazil. He has a private profile, unfortunately, so we can't see any details about him. We'll drop him a ride on anyway. So I need to just jump to the two ahead. Ulstad from Norway and Foire from Canada. So let's have a look at those two. I need my keyboard for this because I can't see them properly on the app. Right, Ulstad. Let me see now if I can click on Ulstad now. There we are. A bit easier. Right. Okay. So Ulstad. This is a Frode Ulstad from Norway, 47 years old. No cycling stats. It's running stats of level 11, 324 kilometers run on Zwift so far, going at a nice steady 4:39, 4:40 per kilometre, and his heart rate is 153, 152. So again, relatively comfortable zone 3 running. So that is Ulstad from Norway. So I need my keyboard again to get to Foire. Keyboard's locking up. Give Foire a ride on. And let's see if we can see any information about Foire. Private view of for Foire. Private profile, I mean. So we don't know anything about Foire other than it's Stefan from Canada. And we've done Aquino from Brazil, so next person is Van Praet from Canada. Let's see if we can find him. Oh, wrong way. So this is Van Praet, drop him a ride on. Cycling stats, cyclist who's been on Zwift for a long time, level 46. There are only 50 levels in cycling, so he has been cycling for a while on Zwift, 19,400 kilometres of cycling on Zwift. But he's also a level 14 runner, so 692, nearly 700 kilometres run on Zwift. And this is Ryan Van Praet from Canada, aged 40. So very regular Surprised I don't recognise the name actually. So here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7th. Yes, 7th place in the Norseman 5k, coming up to 2 kilometres done. So let's have a look at Sims, who'll be in 8th. This is Patrick Sims from the USA, coming up to 2 kilometres done. He's 31 years old. He is a level 19 cyclist with nearly 3,000 kilometres run on Zwift, and a level 7 runner, 113 kilometres run on Zwift. We'll give him a ride on. Patrick Sims. Oh, that's me there now. Why have we jumped to me? There we are. Patrick Sims from the USA, currently going at 5 minutes per kilometre. Let's have a look at Ruzik. Can't get to Ruzik, hang on. Need the keyboard. So this is Mark Ruzik. Mark Ruzicki from the USA. Oh. And 2.2 kilometres run so far. He's aged 53 from the USA. He is a level 35 cyclist, so a good few kilometres, almost 11,000 kilometres cycled on Zwift. He's a level 13 runner, 675 kilometres run on Zwift. From the USA, Mark Ruzicki. Haven't found our first lady yet. And next is Sean Annetts. There's Sean, his profile is private. Unfortunately, let's drop him a ride on. There we go. Sean Annetts from the UK, private profile. Xiao Chang from the United States is age 60. And there's Xiao Chang. Cycling level 1,118 kilometres. Cycled on Zwift. Heart rate is currently 153. Relatively new runner, level 4, 55 kilometres run on Zwift. So we'll drop him a ride on. Xiao Chang from the USA, age 60. Our oldest runner so far. Oh, where's Morales? Oh, we'll jump back one. This is Phil Brailsford. We know Phil. Phil's from the UK, 44 years old. He is a level 13 cyclist with 1,551 kilometres cycled on Zwift. A level 7 runner, 195 kilometres run on Zwift. Drop him a ride on. 44 years old, Phil, from the UK. And we'll jump forward. So this is our first lady. This is Andrea Morales. First lady, 2.3 kilometres run so far. And so not far off halfway now for her. And she isn't a cyclist, she's a level 4 runner, 55 kilometres run on Zwift for Andrea. She is from Peru. Andrea Morales, 27 years old, from Peru. Well done to her, excellent job. So I'm just behind her. So let's jump back to Marshall. Where are we? Oh, now who's this? Sujka. Private profile, Karol Sujka from Poland. I can't get I'll have to get my keyboard for Marshall. Hang on. I'm surprised I've never done myself an injury on this treadmill, you know, doing all this. Sorry, right. Ace Ventura, looks like your last computer service, you've got a solid streaming. Congrats. Well, thank you. Do you know what? We haven't done too badly with technical problems lately. So fingers crossed. And let's not jinx it. We don't get any more technical problems for the next few, well, forever. That's being a bit too optimistic though, isn't it? Right, let's see Marshall here. Oh, James Marshall has a private profile as well, which is unfortunate. We've already dropped him a ride on. We don't have any other details about him, unfortunately. He's over halfway now in the Norseman 5K. So this is James Marshall from the USA. So let's drop back a bit further. Who else do we need now? Jay Foss. Right, well there's a bit of a group just behind Foss. So this is Jordan Foss from the USA, 42 years old. He has level 11 cycling and 524 kilometres run on Zwift. Let's drop a ride on for him. He is a level 8 runner, 157 kilometres run on Zwift. Currently at 145 BPM, so nice and comfortable for him. Well over halfway through. So he's looking good. That's Jay Foss, sorry. 146 BPM. Halfway through now for Jay Foss. Sorry, we were looking at Marshall. Right, let's go back to McManus. Now there is a bit of a queue of people. So hopefully I can get there. Oh, there's McManus there. Oh, another private profile. It's Kathy McManus, so our second female. There's Kathy from the USA. No details about Kathy. Private profile. We'll drop her a ride on anyway. And we'll go back to Tasker from Australia. If I can get her. Keyboard time. So there's Tasker just overtaking McManus. Jordan Tasker is 38 years old from Australia. He is a level 9 cyclist, 367 kilometres cycled on Zwift. And a level 3 runner, 30 kilometres. So he is adding quite a lot to his overall Zwift tally today by 5 kilometres. He's really pushing his heart rate though, 178 BPM. So that's well into the top of zone 4, into zone 5 maybe for him. In fact, yes, it will be into zone 5, won't it? Good grief. So he's working very hard to close the gaps. Good on him, well done. That's Jordan Tasker from Australia. Stuart Henderson is next. This is Stuart. We've lost everyone else now for some reason. Oh, Stuart's not even in the... Stuart's run 10 kilometres. He's not even in the group run. We'll drop him a ride on. Okay, well, let's go back to me then now. So we've got Wise now, we've got Javier. let's just click back through a few people, and we won't have an in-depth look at them. Coming up to 3 kilometres. Well, I'm at 3 kilometres now, so less than 2k to go. Okay, here we go. So Weisner from Germany. Well done to him. No heart rate. Javier from Canada. Heart rate of 153. Sounds good. Makeda from Argentina. Gutierrez Balmaceda. Third female there. No heart rate for her. NT from the USA. And Felix from the USA. Another female. And Jay Dixon from the USA. Another lady. Good stuff. Church from Canada. Well done to Church. Alexander. Now, what flag is that? Colombia? Could be Colombia. Tucker from the Netherlands is walking, has had enough. Well done to Tucker. Okay, there we are. Go back to me. And we have 1.5 kilometres to go. Let's put the camera angles on and just run out these last 1.5 kilometres. Sorry I haven't been chatting much. So let's go up to 14 just for the last 1.5k. And if you've got any questions, I am now going to look at chat. So if you want to say hello, then by all means, please do. Otherwise, I shall just run it out here. Six minutes of running to go. That's in Brailsford. Chang, though, is a good minute or so ahead, so I don't think we're going to get to him. We might just catch Chang before the end. We'll see. Leo, hello buddy. I didn't see how you did in the end. Hang on. I can't believe you run 100 miles on the treadmill. Full respect. One of the hardest things I've ever had to do. The only reason I never went on Zwift was because my dog ate the milestone pod. Oh, Leo. Well, I don't know if you completed it. I hope you did. Well done, buddy. It is not easy, is it? James Simpson says, why do people have private profiles? Not criticising, but just wondering why. Well, some people are very extra careful with their private information, aren't they? I don't know. Right, let's see if we can catch Chang then. 1 kilometre to go. And the thing is, Leo, you did start off very quickly. So, I guess when you get to 70, 80 miles in, that pace is really going to kill you. And it's really going to have an effect in the latter stages of the run. But you've only got to look at, people like Jim Walmsley in their first 100 miler go out at crazy pace and, it might work 1 out of 5, 1 out of 10 times, and the other times they crash and burn. So, plenty of people struggle in the second half of a long run like that, 100 miler like that. Right, we're going to pass Chang now. He's slowed down. "17 hours and 10 minutes is a very good time though, Leo, brilliant. I mean, it was easy for me, it took me 24 and a half hours. So you've done it 7 hours quicker than me, buddy. So no wonder you're knackered. The thing is, now you've got a baseline to work from. You know you can do it in 17 hours. So next time, instead of setting out at 14-hour pace, set out at 16-hour pace. More realistic, but you'd still get a massive PB if you held on. Morales has stopped. Anyway, at least you'll be pleased to hear that Liverpool only drew 0-0 today. Just over the bridge is the finish. There we go. Big purple beacon lighting the way to the end of the Norseman 5K.
Right on.
Tim, hello, thank you for the ride on, buddy.
Nice.
Here's the finish line. Good job, everybody. Well done. So back in the ZRS jacket, ZRS top. So that ZRS top is from last year. This weekend, I simply didn't get a chance to do it. I was supposed to go on at 4 o'clock today to do it, but I didn't. I had a family day out and suddenly realised I wasn't going to get back in time, so didn't make it. So unfortunately, I haven't done any of the seaside solstice races today. Never mind, this weekend. And there's been quite a few of them. It's a shame actually there wasn't one last thing at night tonight, but never mind. There we are. Okay, so Leo says, basically I ran at 14 kilometers per hour, up and down to 16 kilometers an hour for 50 miles. After that it was just up and down sort of pace, tough treadmill running. I did watch all your UTMB and a few others on Film and Run. Cheers, buddy. That must have kept you going or made you feel even more depressed. I don't know. Nice one. Well, you know what though, 17, you cannot sniff at 17 hours for 100 miles on the treadmill. Absolutely awesome, mate. Really good, really good. Have you done 100 miles outdoors, Leo? Because you definitely should enter some of the classic UK 100 milers. Up in your way, Lakeland 100 is the one to do. And down here, it's the South Downs Way 100. Get yourself signed up for them, mate, you have to. Paul Davis says, Jurassic Coast Marathon or Serpent Trail 50k as a first trail race? I would say it depends what you want. Hello, Daniel, how are you, buddy?
Thank you.
If you want something challenging, which has got a lot of elevation, some steep hill climbs, then go for the Jurassic Coast one. If you want a relatively nice, easy starter, then go for Serpent Trail, which is nowhere near the same level of incline. It's still hilly a little bit, and it still has beautiful views, some superb forests to run through, absolutely beautiful forests, but not as tough. I know one's a marathon, one's a 50k, but I would say even at 50k, if you take it nice and easy, then the Serpent Trail one is the one to go for. But if you want a tough challenge, go for the Jurassic Coast. Right, what else have we got? Okay, Leo's never done 100 miles outdoors. 50 mile outdoors, 6 hours 34. Okay, so I reckon if you had a sensible plan, like a sensible pacing plan, you get South Downs Way down here. You get that done in 16 hours. I reckon. Depends how you are on hills. It's not that hilly though. Jason Mitchell, Arc of Attrition for the 100. Don't give him a fright to start his 100 milers outdoors. No, don't do the Arc of Attrition first. Do another one first and then go for the Arc of Attrition. Although, to be honest, the Arc of Attrition is unbelievably awesome. But yeah, it's a bit of a scary one to start with. Get 100 done outdoors first, comfortably, and then go for the toughies. Mr. M says, is the Norseman series bike and run? Yes, it is. And some of the bike ones are really tough with a lot of hill climbing. You'll get to go up the Alpe de Zwift on the bike. I did it last year. You go up the Alpe de Zwift on the bike. So they're tough ones, really tough rides, the Norseman. Rob Harrison says, are you running the marathon on Zwift next weekend? I might do, yeah. I don't think I'll go for a time, but I might do for a laugh. I actually haven't thought about it, if I'm honest. Maurizio, today I ran 21k on Zwift for my first time in my life. Oh, Maurizio, that's absolutely awesome. Amazing, buddy. Listen, anyone who runs any distance for the first time deserves a round of applause. Really good work, and you can only go on from there. You know, you'll be doing a marathon next. Jason Mitchell says the Arc of Attrition only took him 34 hours. Listen, the cut-off is 36 hours, so 34 hours is 2 whole hours under the cut-off, mate. You cannot argue with that, can you? Eh? Cannot argue with that. Well done, well done. Right, okay, that is it. That's all the comments. Thank you very much, everybody, for taking part today. Sorry I didn't chat in the first bit. I was just doing a bit of commentary, looking at all the other runners who've joined us today at the Norseman. We can probably stop the treadmill now because I've done over 5.5. Have I? Hang on. Yeah, 5.5k done there. So that's that for this week. That is this week's running completed, and we start afresh tomorrow with Monday Run Club. We will be back tomorrow evening, 7:30 UK time for Monday Run Club. Leo says, when you ran your CCC and you set off too quick up that hill, how did you turn it around to find that second? Right, I'll tell you how. Just literally by saying, okay, for the time being, I'm not going to worry about my time. All I'm going to worry about is getting myself together. Because not only did I lose it physically, I was absolutely shattered after only 20k, but mentally I'd gone as well. So I had to basically sit down and just take a minute and have a chat with myself and say, look, calm down, relax, just get the next 40k or so into your legs, run steady, don't go crazy, and then just see what you've got. Now what actually happened was, I did do that. I didn't really get much stronger. I just kind of made it through, and then I had that little burst of speed at the end to get down the hill. But it's just having a chat with yourself, Leo. It's stopping and saying, get a grip. You know, you can't duck out now. There's nothing wrong with you. You just need to get your head straight. And if you're physically absolutely shattered, take a minute. You know, take some time, recover. If you have to sit down for half an hour and lose all that time, if it means finishing the race. See, the thing is about trail running. sometimes it's certainly not about coming first or second, you know, because you've got the elite athletes all doing that. I mean, you're a much quicker runner than me, so in a way it might be more that for you about competing, but for us mid-packers, it's much more about the completion of the race. So if you absolutely have to take half an hour to sit down in an aid station and recover and literally get yourself together physically and mentally to carry on, that's what you do. Eating, drinking, close your eyes for 10 minutes, you know. If you have to do that, then you do it. Yeah, so there you go. But the other thing is just experience. I've done lots of races before, so I knew that if I just chilled out, I'd get to the end because I've done it before. And you'll do it. Right, I'm off. I'll see you all tomorrow, guys. Once again, Leo, brilliant running, well done. Leo completed 100 miles on the treadmill this weekend. Not on Zwift, but because his dog ate his milestone pod. Bloody idiot. Oh dear. Right. Take care, guys. See you tomorrow for Monday Run Club. Bye-bye.